Welcome back to the 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Noon.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for 17 News at Noon. I'm Nicole Kitsky. We begin with breaking news. Westbound lanes have been shut down on Highway 178 after a truck goes off the canyon's edge. It happened just after 11 this morning at the mouth of the Kern Canyon. California Highway Patrol says one person sustained minor injuries. They currently have one lane open as they work to get the truck out of the canyon. And a 22-year-old tow truck driver is dead after being struck by a vehicle while he was standing on the side of the road to help another driver. It happened just before 10 last night on the shoulder of northbound Highway 99 just south of Williams Avenue in Delano. The California Highway Patrol says 22-year-old was assisting a stranded driver and was standing outside of his tow truck when he was hit by an SUV driven by 48-year-old Grant August Miller. The 22-year-old died at the scene. CHP says they think drugs or alcohol may be a factor in this crash. Miller was treated for minor injuries and arrested for driving under the influence of drugs. Miller's arraignment has been set for Tuesday at 3 p.m. Anyone with information on this crash is asked to contact CHP at 396-6600. And a pedestrian is seriously injured after getting hit by a vehicle in central Bakersfield. According to BPD, it happened early this morning near the intersection of Union Avenue and East 19th Street. Officers say a man was crossing the street of Union when he was hit by a car heading northbound. The man was taken to the hospital with major injuries. BPD says the man was walking outside of the crosswalk at the time of the crash. The driver remained at the scene and is cooperating during this investigation. And Bakersfield police are searching for a hit-and-run driver who injured a motorcyclist. According to BPD, it happened yesterday morning at the corner of 23rd and Chester Avenue. Officers say the suspect vehicle hit a motorcyclist, then fled the scene. That vehicle is described as a white work truck with a built-in toolbox and tool rack. The motorcyclist was taken to the hospital with what police describe as moderate injuries. If you have any information on this case, call BPD at 327-7111. Now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic here in Kern. Public Health announces 61 new cases along with 2 new deaths. Our death toll stands at 408 since the beginning of the pandemic. There are still less than 11,000 people isolating in their homes, while 26 people with more serious symptoms are being treated in local hospitals. We haven't seen a number that low since March. Well, President Trump and Joe Biden make their cases to voters and viewers going head-to-head, but not face-to-face on the economy, each other, and the coronavirus. The competing televised events, both held at the same time last night, showcase the differences between the two candidates just 2.5 weeks before the November election. During the NBC News town hall in Miami, Trump addressed his administration's handling of the coronavirus pandemic, which has killed more than 217,000 Americans. Biden was pressed on his stance on expanding the Supreme Court if Trump's nominee is seated before Election Day, but he didn't offer a direct response. Trump and Biden were both originally scheduled to face off for the second presidential debate in Miami Thursday night, but the event was canceled after the debate's commission shifted the format to virtual and President Trump backed out. On Wednesday, we featured a live debate between the candidates for the 34th Assembly District. If you missed the debate with Assemblyman Vince Fong and his challenger Judy Solis, it will replay this Sunday at 9:30 p.m. following football. It will also re-air on CW Channel 12 Sunday at 11. Plus, you can watch it anytime on our website, KGET.com. And state Republicans have floated an order for Democratic leaders to remove unauthorized ballot drop boxes scattered across the state. Democrats claim the Republican-owned ballot boxes violate state ballot harvesting laws. But Republicans disagree, saying the party won't comply with that order, and they are merely providing a ballot delivery service. The Secretary of State's office says they are exploring other options and that they will reserve the right to ensure the law is followed.
Well, Nicole, the bird has exited the area, and now for all of us, we're going to be dealing with two things. We're going to be dealing with some air quality issues, and we're going to be dealing with a little bit warmer of a forecast today. Yesterday, 88 was the high. Today, expecting the 90s. There you go. Yesterday, 88. Overnight, we were at 61. Our overnight temperature this morning, 55. Now, normally, overnight, we should be right around 55. We've been in the lower 60s. Now, our normal high this time of year is 80, and our record on this date set back in 1954 when we hit 98 degrees. Daytime highs, 94 in Sacramento today, 92 in Fresno, 80s down to the south if you're going to try your luck in Vegas, upper 80s, lower 90s expected. It's still quite warm out of Phoenix at 101. The beaches, Pismo Beach, sunny skies, near 80 today, and east-southeast wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. And it's all because of the ridge of high pressure that we've been talking about, and it's anchored. And unfortunately, I don't think it's going to weaken as much as I was hoping for next week when I wanted the lower 80s to come back. Now, take a look at the national weather and the temperatures for today. We're looking at 60s from Seattle. You can see that cooler air through parts of Boise, Salt Lake, Denver, 70 today, and then up into the northeast into New York, a high of 62, D.C. in the upper 50s. Now, air quality, we talked about that. Unhealthy for sensitive groups, your AQI at 129. And today, a little bit warmer than yesterday with this haze around the area as well. 93 in Bakersfield, Delano 92, 91 in Maricopa. For the mountains in the Kern Valley, 85, Frazier Park, Tehachapi 83, 90s for the Kern Valley today. Lake Isabella at 93 with a southeast wind 10 to 15. For the desert, sunny skies, 89 in Mojave with Ridgecrest at 91. Here's a look at your extended forecast heading into that weekend, and we'll keep you in the lower 90s through Sunday, then mid-80s Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Overnight mild in the 60s for the mountains, lots of sunshine, a little bit of a haze here the next couple of days. Lower 80s through Sunday, and then we'll be in the upper 70s by Monday. And then for the Kern Valley, lower 90s as we head into tomorrow. And then we'll be back into those 80s for you Sunday through next Thursday. So a little bit of a warm up around the area. And again, with the air quality, try to stay inside as much as you possibly can. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll send it back over to you.
Taking a look ahead, you can't keep a good artist down. The COVID-19 pandemic isn't stopping the annual Via Arte Festival from taking place this weekend. Parking spaces at the marketplace in Southwest Bakersfield will be transformed into master works of chalk art. The festival features dozens of local artists showing off their talents and their backstories behind the pieces. Via Arte is tomorrow and Sunday at the marketplace. Also happening tomorrow, you can join the fight to end Alzheimer's by walking. This year's Walk to End Alzheimer's is different because of the pandemic, so participants are encouraged to walk in small groups instead of the traditional large march. You can support the cause from anywhere, whether you're walking on a sidewalk, a track, or a trail. Participants can use the Walk to End Alzheimer's app to connect with the community while also tracking your distance. The Alzheimer's Association California Southland Executive Director says Alzheimer's isn't taking a day off because of COVID-19, so neither are they. Alzheimer's disease is the 6th leading cause of death in the U.S. To register for the event, go to alz.org/walk. Throughout the month of October, we are highlighting remarkable women who have overcome breast cancer. Today, we introduce you to one woman whose persistence helped save her life. Gabriela Vasquez was 30 years old when she discovered a lump in her left breast, but it took nearly a year for her to find out her official diagnosis.
It was honestly very overwhelming, frustrating. At certain points, it almost felt like I was making stuff up. That that's how I felt. But obviously, we know our own bodies, and I just knew something wasn't right. And having had 3 aunts that had breast cancer, it obviously raised some concerns for me.
Vasquez says because of her young age, doctors dismissed the possibility of it being breast cancer.
I was persistent about it, and I finally came across one doctor who told me, if you feel like there's something wrong, then you be persistent about it until you're heard.
And in that year of uncertainty, the lump metastasized from a marble to 3/4 of her left breast.
My initial diagnosis was incorrect, that I was actually stage 3, grade 3. So it was actually more aggressive and more advanced than they had initially told me.
With so many pent-up emotions, she says it can be frustrating at times to know her story could have went differently.
I could have potentially avoided chemo. I could have potentially avoided a double mastectomy. There's a lot of things that could have potentially been avoided.
But she says she reminds herself about how grateful she is for her story.
I definitely can say I didn't have it as rough as a lot of women, and honestly, it gave me some insight on something that I was previously oblivious to, which has made me more passionate for helping others, because a lot of times we're not empathetic of what other people are going through because we've never experienced it ourselves.
Vasquez says it's important for others going through something similar to focus on today. Worry about tomorrow. Now, if you or someone you know is battling breast cancer, we have a full list of our resources on our website, KGET.com. And the AIS Cancer Center hosted a drive-in movie event offering free mammograms and breast screenings as well. Nearly 100 people showed up to see the animated film Sing, brought to you by the portable silver screen at 6:30 last night in the center's parking lot at 2620 Chester Avenue. Organizers say it was a great opportunity to perform an important free health screening.
It's important to get the word out. Breast cancer is detectable early. It's the best if it's detected early, and that's by mammogram. So it's really important that women and men get mammograms, especially women, yearly after the age of 40. And if it's detected early, it improves survivorship.
Attendees were required to practice social distancing and other COVID-19 safety guidelines.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Noon.
The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to KGET.com.